Hi, good morning, friends. And today I would want to talk to you about something I feel is very profound and due to the world events that is really going on today. Now today is the 21st of January. Of course, you know that yesterday, being the 20th of January, there was an inauguration of now President Biden and Vice President Kamala. And then now, a lot has been happening in the Christendom, in the Christian community, and I want to talk just to throw a little light into that. First of all, I want to congratulate President Biden, and I'll be praying for him and praying for his administration to move in the light of God, to move in, the love of God, and to be able to create a culture that will elevate God, right? Now, a lot of, like I said, if you've watched the previous videos, I think there should be one up there now. I told you earlier on that I felt and I had a word from God that Trump wasn't going to win the election, or that Biden was going to. But now, this is not a thing about a debate, either Biden or president, no, Biden or Trump, no. But just to bring a little remark into all the prophecies that have been period to this that Trump was going to win. I really appreciate the fact that most prominent prophets in the world have asked for forgiveness, that they missed the word, they missed the mark, but that doesn't make them false prophets, right? So we go ahead and pray for them and accept them. We do not condemn them to be false prophets. No, we understand that we are humans. And the good thing, like I said earlier on in one of my videos, is thank God we are in the New Testament. If it wasn't the Old Testament, man, that would be really crazy. So that doesn't make them false prophets. They miss the marks. They're human, and we kind of understand them. But at the same time, now there is something really dangerous happening that I want to throw more light on. Is First of all, I want to say that as Christians, we should, a lot of Christians are not into the political, part of our society. We believe that we leave that for the politicians to, but I believe today that God is raising more politicians into the administration. Now, this is a word of knowledge. This is the word of knowledge for Kenya. I don't know. This is just something coming right now. In Kenya, there is going to be a minister, I think a minister of transport or a minister of agriculture. I just see transport and agriculture. The minister is going to be about 39 years old, 38 and 39 years old. In the history, he would probably he would be one of the youngest minister in Kenya. This would happen in the next 2 years. I have to check out when is election for Kenya. If anybody from Kenya here is watching, please tell me when next is the election. This is going to happen in the next 2 years. This is going to happen in the next 2 years. Now, coming back to America, so I believe that God is bringing in Christians. This is something that's going to happen. If you want to know more about what I believe God has told me, has spoken to me about America in the next 5 years, you should watch the video. One of the videos in my, I think if you're on Instagram, I'll put it I'll put it, the link on my bio. And if you are on YouTube, you can see that sliding out now. So God is going to raise a lot of Christians into the political realm. Now, listen, it doesn't have to be a Democrat or a Republican. There's this craziness happening that Christians are Republicans and while Antichrists are Democrats. No, we are not called to judge. Matthew 7:7. We are 7:1. We are not called to judge. We are called to bring the light. Jesus, yes, I understand a lot of people will quote the verse where Jesus says he has come to judge the world. But we are called not to judge the world in the way that the world would see it. Paul says in the Corinthians, he says, our wisdom is not of this world. Our wisdom is not of this world. So our way of judging is not the way of this world to call this good and call this bad. Our wisdom in judging the world is to judge from evil and good, from light and darkness. We bring light into darkness. Now, you should understand that if you believe and say that someone is living in darkness, it is not the person that is in darkness, but darkness in the person. So what you have to do is to call out the darkness in that person and to bring light in that person, not naming and categorizing and tagging the person as darkness. So what I'm trying to say is, if we believe, I believe we are living in a dark time now, and not because people are dark, people are bad. I believe it's because people the idea of darkness has now become something good. When the Bible says in the book of Isaiah, when you call good evil and you call evil good. So what's happening now is, I think, is a challenge on on Christians and believers of all denominations, that we shall come together and pray for the country. Now, America for a very, very long time has never had Christians come together united under one umbrella, regardless of political parties, regardless of political views, coming together to pray for the country, to pray for the success of the country. That is what we should be doing. Now, for you to understand, I am not pro Biden or pro Trump. I am pro God's kingdom, because first of all, we are citizens of God's kingdom. We have a president that is above all presidents, and that is Jesus. We have a Lord that is above all Lord, and that is our mighty God. So we are part and particles of God's kingdom, first of all. Paul said in the book of Corinthians, he says, in Corinthians and Ephesians, he said, we are called to partake in the creation. Oh, that's true, man. We are called to partake in the creation. We are called. So we have the power and the authority. It says the power of life and death lies on the tongue, and those shall love it shall eat the fruit thereof, if we believe it. So we have the power on our tongue. Now, this is the power of it. This is where the power lies. We have the power to speak a light, not condemnation. Unfortunately, I've seen on social networks, on Instagram, tweet, and Facebook, and we'll say that a lot of Christians are still saying this is not our president. That Biden is not our president. We have been robbed. We have been duped. They feel that. I understand. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to express your personal opinion, but it's wrong to presume that your personal opinion is the truth. Now, if we believe that God is on the throne, and if we believe our Almighty God knows everything, so then we believe even from the beginning God knew that Biden was going to win. And if we do not accept, because the first inauguration, the first day, there were a lot of bills that were signed. Some really troubled me. But at that same moment, I understand that this is the time where we as Christians will stand in the gap and pray. It's like, I see this as a vision where Jesus and the disciples were traveling on sea, and there was a great storm. Now, this is two things happened. They were in the time of Jesus, where there was a great storm, and they came to Jesus. Now, this is it. This is a prophetic word. They came to Jesus and said, Master, we are dying. Can't you do something? And what did Jesus say? He says, don't you have faith? And he walked up and said to the sea, be still, the storm. And it was still and clean as glass. Now, that was the response of Jesus. When you feel there's a storm, we focus, we reflect in the Jesus that is in us. And he would tell you the same thing. Be calm and speak. When God created everything, he told Adam, the way you name them, that's how they will be named. God gave Adam power and authority to name things, and they were. Up to today, they are still the same way that Adam named them. What do you see? Speak. The centurion came to Jesus and says, you do not need to come with me to heal my servant, but speak the word, and I believe that person will be healed. It is a power of the tongue. We condemn the society. We condemn the administration. We have a personal perspective that this is what Biden and Harris are going to do. They came into the first day of inauguration. There were a lot of bills that were being signed about having same-sex gender, toilets, bathroom. I've not gone into the details, but I know a lot of things like that has really happened. And now a lot of people are making so much noise. I want to tell you, be calm and speak life. Death and life cannot come out from the same source. It has to be one. You decide what you want to come out of you. You decide what source you channel inside of you. For whatever is in us is what comes out of us. Jesus said it's not what you eat that is a poison, but what comes out of you. So what we speak about. Now, about the storm, you remember the story of Jonah, the same story as of Jesus. He was in the ship, he was traveling, running away, and there was a storm. And everybody knew they were going to die. And they said, let's cast a stone to see who. Let's cast and see whose fault it is. When they found out it was Jonah, what did Jonah do? He said, throw me into the river. Throw me into the sea. Now, the same story here with Jesus. Jesus spoke out of a certain boldness. And the storm was over. Jonah then speak like Jesus. I'm not trying to say Jesus is, I'm not trying to compare. I just want you to see, if you can see what I'm trying to talk about. We have to act like Jesus here, to speak, not to fall into the storm and thinking that when we fall into the storm, we're going to make it calm down. No, we speak to it. We have the power and authority to speak to it. And it will succumb to the voice because we speak under authority of God. But we do not speak under the authority of hatred, judging, sentimental thought, religious mindset. No, we speak life. So what I'm calling you Christians, brothers and sisters, to do, I understand a lot of things are really troubling, and we have profiled a lot of people for what they've said before, what they've done before. I want you to understand, if we believe God could use anyone, if God could use me, if God could use you to reach out to other people, and I believe that God could also use the new administration. Now, again, I am not pro anyone. In fact, I'm not an American. I'm a Nigerian living in Russia. I'm a Russian, Nigerian, whatever you want to call it. But I love America, and my heart is in America because I know America stands a prophetic stand in the world, and I want to see peace. I want to see unity. There are a lot of things we should really be working on right now, and that is how to bring peace and how to bring unity and how to allow God do the work. Speak it by faith, and then you would see it at work. Speak it by faith, and then you would see it at work. In California, this is a word of knowledge I'm having right now. In California, I can't remember. I can see the name of the city, but in California, in a rural area in California, there would be a new congressman who is going to be a pastor. He's going to be a pastor, and he's going to be a congressman, and he's going to bring a stand. And in that city, there would be the light of God shining so far that it will bring light into so many places that are being dark. That's the word of knowledge I'm having right now about that. If you are watching this and you have an idea of what I'm talking about, please write so we have a clarity. So that is what I'm calling Christians to do. Not to judge Biden, not to condemn Biden. You may not agree. Let us learn to love each other, even with agree or disagree. Let us learn to put God and the kingdom above any political party, above any diverse, ideology, above our own personal perception about any other person or whatever they hold on for. But let us stand for the truth. It doesn't mean we compromise our truth. It doesn't mean we compromise our faith. It doesn't mean we accept evil for good. It means we stand in the gap and speak light where there is darkness. We do not call people dark. We do not tag people as darkness, but we stand in the gap to pray about the darkness of the ideology that people have embraced to be true. That is what we do. You remember Jesus when the woman was brought to Jesus who was fornicating with someone else, and he said, if there's anyone here who has not sinned, to first cast a stone over her, and nobody did. And what did Jesus say? Go now and sin no more. So Jesus did not name her a sinner, but Jesus called out the sin in her and replaced it with life. He replaced it with light. We replace sin, we replace darkness with light. So that is what I want us to do, and that is what I call us to do. This is not a prophetic word from God. This is not a word of knowledge. It's not a mandate, but this is what I feel in my heart that I should share with you. It is time for us to, we need a lot of prophets now more than ever to tell us what is happening. We need more prophetic words to come out and tell us. I will be spending more time with God to understand where we are going, what is going to happen. I love to know what is happening. In my personal life, a lot of things happen because I know they're going to happen because God has told me about that. A year period to that, a day period to that, 5 years, 10 years to that. Today I'm in Russia. I knew I was going to be in Russia 15 years ago while I was, just giving my life to Christ. I knew I was going to be in Russia, and today I'm here. So what I'm trying to say is we need a lot of prophets today. We need new young prophets who understand the culture of love and understand the culture of God to come out and speak. Because now is a time more than ever that we need prophetic word about what is happening in our country, in our world, in your country, in your city, in your life, so we can have a clarity of that. God bless you all, and please write down topics you want me to talk about when it comes to prophetic ministry. I'll be so glad to share with you. God bless you all. Have a nice day.